Hey guys, Happy New Year! I'm excited to share this sketchbook tour with you guys. It's the latest, my first of the year. It's my latest one I finished. Actually, some of the images in it are very old, at least 10 years old or more. But I did use this sketchbook for my Inktober sketchbook tour for 2017, and I wanted to go ahead finished out. So I pushed through these last a couple months and weeks, and went ahead and filled up the rest of the pages. And I'm excited to share that with you now. So let's get started. All right, for those of you that seen my last sketchbook tour, you know that I have a new camera set up, so hopefully it won't move around too much on you. And I'm sorry if it shakes a little bit, but let's try to get that a little bit more stable. Um, but I'm trying to get like right over the sketchbook. So you got all you can see it. So right off the bat, and like I had stated, some of these sketches are over 10 years or more. You can definitely tell that by looking at the first page. So there's not really too much of a story behind these first sketches, just images that I had created when I was a little bit younger. And I didn't really put a lot of thought into what I was drawing when I was younger. I just kind of drew what came to mind. So, and then I'm kind of going through this. I'll go through as we go on later down the road. I'll go through some of my influences and things like that. I did go through and try to fill in some blank pages and fill in some spots. So on some of these, on some of this background stuff, it's I did that over the last couple months. And I did want to give a kind of a little disclaimer. Some of the images in here a little risque for my younger viewers, so just kind of keep that in mind. But like here, this image wasn't originally here, so some some of these back pages I went ahead and filled in. This kind of she reminded me of kind of like a vampire girl, like a vampirella or something like that. So I drew in a castle with a lot of vampire bats flying around. I really love this image. I was thinking of a YouTuber named Sketchy Trav. He does a lot of fantasy kind of tree images with people walking into the distance and things like that. And I like that image. The Indian girl, and some pose designs and things like that. Musician wizard. And right here is right about when I started, really trying to fill in some blank pages and things like that. And I started getting influenced by, other artists. This image, I was influenced by a Russian artist, YouTuber, Azaza, I think is how you pronounce her name. It's Azyza, but she has some great images on her YouTube channel, so you should check her out. This one as well is Azaza. And this image on the right is, once again, really, really old. I was a big Grateful Dead fan back in the day. I actually had a couple friends that traveled around with them, 20 or so years ago. And it's something I never had the opportunity to do. But I loved. They actually brought me back a lot of bootlegged live cassette tapes, and I still love to listen to those every once in a while. It's funny little old man, just not really caring about nothing. This, oddly enough, I was thinking of the movie Doctor Strangelove when I sketched this out. And right here is really when I started getting influenced, pretty much by other YouTubers and other artists. Um, there's this one younger YouTuber. She's just amazing. Her name is she goes by Tamaytka, or and her name is actually Tam, and she's from New Zealand, but she's just magnificent for a younger artist. There's also this other younger artist named Lalaineartgeek, and she does a lot of comic book kind of characters, and she does a great job. And I'll leave a link to those YouTubers in the description below, just to give them a shout out, and kind of show you guys how I'm influenced and things like that. Thanksgiving in the YouTube house, in the Thew household, and this image was actually influenced by Rodgon the Artist. And he's given me a couple shout outs back. He's a great character artist. Another kind of influenced by the Lalaineartgeek. And right here's the start of my major influence towards the back of this book. His name is Kim Jong-ji, and anybody that doesn't know that name needs to look him up, because he's just amazing. He does everything freehand, basically no reference. Is liked by fellow artists Jim Lee and Bella Rachlin, and just amazing artists. Another image, over 10, 20 years ago, maybe. Love my dragons. And Kim Jong-ji does a lot of scenery and group photos, and you'll see that coming up here pretty soon. But I really need to get better at some of those scenes. Right here's the first outline to my holiday greeting card, from my Christmas card that I sent out over the last 2017 season. And you can see it's kind of really nothing like the card looks, but those first rough drafts hardly ever are. More group scene. And Kim Jong-gi does a lot of pictures of himself drawing what's in front of him. So you'll see the back of his head, sitting down with the sketchbook and just drawing whatever is in front of him. Pretty amazing. Operating table. What the heck is he pulling out of that body? And then I got some notes and a little poetry in here as well. If you want to pause and read that, then go for it. And right here is the start of my Inktober, so I'm going to just kind of jump ahead. And a cave woman. That's actually a bearded dragon, but I liked how it looked, so I went ahead and sketched that out. Right here, this actually should be on my YouTube All-Star series, kind of in with those sketches. But this is a YouTuber named Emma Blackery. I actually should say musician. She'll, if she sees this, she'll get a little frustrated with me. But she's a musician slash YouTuber. She's really she started creating videos when she was 15, and this past year, she's really concentrated on her music career and the Best of Luck tour on that. Put a little collage of some of her interests and things on that. Myself, like many others, I enjoy the series on Netflix called Stranger Things. I'm actually amazed that Stephen King's kind of helped promote it as well. He's been saying some great things about it. This is probably the first time I try to paste a post-it over a drawing and try to correct it, because I really didn't like what was underneath, but I still don't really care for that. A little octopus, tiger, and elk skull. The idea of drawing some basketball players through the fence and didn't really work out too well. That's my desk. As messy as the drawing is, my desk is way messier. And more influences by Kim Jong-gi. And a little anime. You can never go wrong with a little anime, right? And Kim Jong does this thing where he draws tattooed people getting tattooed, and I really like that concept, so I started on there. And he also does this really thing, like he does cover arts, and he draws out the game designs, and he draws guns and vehicles and machinery so effortlessly without any reference at all, and it just amazes the heck out of me. And just a regular ink pen, and trying to sketch every day, and did that on my lunch break. As well. More group stuff. And a scuba diver. She's got the big thumbs up. And some sharks. Anybody that knows me, I really love sharks and shark movies. I think the last one I saw was a five-headed shark attack. And that's just as cheesy as the title of the movie, but I still watch them. Kim Jong also draws a lot of animals, and you know, and puts animal heads on human bodies and things like that. So I kind of did that with that hound dog. Kind of reminds me of Hong Kong Phooey in a way. And he also loves tigers and wildcats, so he draws a bunch of those as well. Elephants, horses. And these pages were influenced by a YouTuber, an artist named Will Terrel. He draws, and he actually has quite a few good videos about him talking about growing as an artist, especially struggling like I do as well, you know, in the comic book world, and going to some Comic-Cons and things like that. A little Bruce Lee. Busy airport. I really like the image of this girl going through her bag. I had fun doing that one. And some kids at the beach hanging out. And there we have it. Yay! Sketchbook 2 is done. Obviously, this isn't Sketchbook 2, but for all intents and purposes, I'm going to kind of label them as such, just for these videos. But I enjoyed putting this together. And you know, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, big hugs. Thanks for watching.